Yeah, how's it going? Today is 8th of June, Saturday, and we are taking a look at the market. And let's quickly dive deeper into elections, right? Uh, yeah, that will be very important, I personally believe. It's something that happened already. I thought I would give a little bit of time before taking a look at that since I myself I might be interested in numbers. There's a lot of things happening with regards to elections when it comes to Mexico, right? First, let's take a look at Mexico elects Claudia. Let's skip last name, right? As it first woman, Jewish president, which is always good. That it's a woman. If you would ask me, it doesn't matter man or woman, but this article thinks it's important. But either way, and either way, so the first Jewish president was elected in Mexico, and I think that she would be only be able to work or do presidency just for one term. Okay, now once we take a look at some of the data, let's take a look at what have taken to elect this Jewish president. Let's take a look at some of these articles, right? And this article is 15 days old. In Mexico, a wave of political murders eats away at democracy. Let's read this article. I think in total there was 200 people unalive themselves, right? Out of 200, numbers are roughly about 35 or so, 34 candidates. 34. So let's see what we can find. I haven't read this article. Let's take a look at this article and see what we can find. Acapulco, Mexico, May 24th. Guarded by more than a dozen police officers equipped with semi-automatic rifles and donning helmets and bulletproof vests. There is names there. Let's skip names. Looks more like he's leading an armed raid when running for local political office. But in parts of Mexico where source of local political candidates have been murdered ahead of national elections on June 2nd, the risk of violence and assassination are so high that many feel that there's no choice but campaigning alongside armored cars of and all with who are potentially wearing masks and jackets and armored cars, right? uh, Algorithms and all these kind of things, right? And a lot of media, social media, won't be covering this, and all perhaps some of the words, not the good words of this video, perhaps might cause some problems, I guess. But I personally believe that would be important. And I'm reading this article right now, and I'm trying to understand it, what's happening, right? But there are some words that not necessarily good words, like analyze themselves, right? People perhaps understand why we need to make up new words, right? Either way, we are afraid of being murdered. Okay. Let's skip this statement. Perhaps there's a person who is afraid for his life and running for office, right? From September to May, across Mexico, 34 candidates and aspiring candidates have been assassinated. Security analyst says the killings are mostly like a drug cartel seeking for influence on local elections. Returns, I don't know, this is assumption by the way. I don't know what and who and why. I don't know that. This is an assumption that the author of this article is making, right? I don't know why these people would be killed, right? And why so many of those. And I thought I will wait for a little bit for all the numbers to get in of how many people and how and all this kind of details because I think numbers are way higher. Return talks more than a dozen candidates and party leaders to understand the impact of violence of local elections and the fears many aspiring politicals face. Again, there is names. I prefer skipping some of those names, and perhaps author of this article is taking a look at a unique perspective that will be from one person's viewpoint when it comes to his fears, beliefs, understanding when coming into a process of running for elections, right? I don't know how much of that I can even delve to. I don't want to put even this person in danger if there is such a wave of crime going on. But either way, let's keep that ultra ruling. There's a cartel, I think, name parties, or perhaps there's a political party. I don't know. Party is expected to comfortably win presidential elections while violence against local candidates is a significant blot on president. There is a names there, legacy, and one that underpins criticisms that has failed to improve Mexico's security situations. There is a name there will leave office with years when the term ends. He's successful and to be chosen on the 2nd of June, the same day, and then the violence hit elections for our local government. The skip names has dismissed data showing the increased attacks on sensationalism. The president defend his record on security, pointing to a 5% fall in homicides last year compared to. I don't know. I don't think this data is accurate. I don't want to read this information. So the data that I'm taking a look at, that potentially 200 people unalive themselves. That's the data that I'm taking a look at. I don't know what local police and what kind of data they're referring to, right? Let's take a look at this wave of violence potentially. This election campaign has already seen highest number. If that's numbers then or statistics, I think that everyone should take a look at the highest number of violence incidents reported against candidates according to the risk consultancy. There's the name of the company. It counts 560 incidents, way above the previous high of 389 during the last presidential elections, even if the number of murders candidates significantly below the 221 gubernatorial elections are but either way, so it's not the first time that that's how many people got affected in a negative way, quote unquote, right? I don't know if I should take a look at that, or perhaps let's take a look at some of the concepts, right, and close this video on that. That would be some of the concepts and or diversifying a lot of markets, right? So if you were asking, right, let's take a look at the strategy and close this video on that. That would be let's take a look at and we'll break down two different points. First strategy, that would be diversification strategy definition. Diversification strategy is a business approach that involves entering into new market or creating new products or achieving growth and or reduce risk. Companies pursue diversification to spread out their risk across different products, services, and markets. Different types that will be related diversifications, so let's keep those. Unrelated diversifications, okay. And next potential strategy that will be friend shoring definition. Friend shoring refers to a strategy to relocate supply chain to countries that are considered friendly or have stable political relations with the company's home country. This approach aims to mitigate risk associated with political instability, trade disputes, and economic sanctions in other regions. Purpose to ensure more reliable and secure supply chain by engaging with countries that have favorable and or predictable trade relationships, right? I thought we can close this video on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.